Hello, hello, hello. Wagwan, wagwan. Okay, we're up and running. We're up and running. Hey, shout out to Skincare Do's and Don'ts. Igwe's daughter. Hey, hey, hey. Big ups. Pretty good show today. We got a pretty good show today. Yes, we do. Shout out to the positive therapist as well. Yes, I am pumped as well. I am. Happy Monday to everybody as well. Yes, I see you guys in the chat. And so let me know in the comments what you guys think about what we're discussing here today. Let me know if any other show ideas you'd like me to cover. So, today's show is about how to effortlessly lose belly fat. Starting today. Today. Now, is that clickbait? No, 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 no. We do not do clickbait on this show. No, sir. We ain't bother with them kind of things, yeah. So for those who don't speak Jamaican patois, I just said we don't bother with those kinds of things. For those who don't know, yes. So we do not do that stuff here. Now, why does losing belly fat matter? Obviously, we have the aesthetic reasons, right? As I see some more people getting in the chat here. Now, the thing is, when you get too much fat around your abdomen, specifically what's called visceral fat that grows around your internal organs, this can increase the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even some kinds of cancer, actually. Now, of course, for most of us, it's the aesthetic reasons, right? Now, the key thing I want to show is things you can do effortlessly, right? Which, as I said, is not clickbait. So the first easy thing to do, right, is get enough protein. When people start cutting calories to lose weight, they tend to cut everything, right? Most people don't eat enough protein to begin with. So they cut the carbs, cut the fat, cut the protein. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You can cut some carbs and or some fat. Don't cut the protein. Most of y'all do not get enough protein in the first place, right? So do not do that. Protein has so many benefits, right? Building muscle mass, reducing fat, helps you feel satiated. It helps you feel full, longer to digest. So you'll eat less calories. Also provides energy as well, right? Another very easy thing to do is just drink more water. As a matter of fact, if you're not drinking enough water, all these tips we're discussing is almost pointless, right? That's how important water is. Because a lot of you are drinking too many sugary drinks. If you start drinking more water, by default, you'll drink less sugary drinks. Sugary drinks go down, belly fat goes down. Very simply, drink more water. Very easy. I mean, you can even turbocharge this by drinking water before meals, right? Just 2 glasses. That's not difficult. Just 2 glasses. There was a study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that just 2 glasses of water before a meal increased metabolic rate by 30%. That's a big number. That's a very big number, right? Now, another easy thing to do, again, we're sticking with this effortless theme, guys. Effortless theme here. I haven't told you to exercise or anything like that, right? It's been effortless. You got to sleep more. We're terrible at sleep. That's one of the things I've been terrible at myself over the years, right? I still sometimes struggle with this. You got to sleep more, right? There's so many studies on sleep. Yeah, definitely going to do a show on that. A recent one from the Canadian Medical Association Journal concluded that inadequate sleep was not only linked to a greater risk of obesity, but was also found to commonly interfere with weight loss attempts. There's so many ways bad sleep screws things up. I know for one, it messes with leptin, which is that thing that makes you have sugar cravings the next day when you don't get enough sleep. It messes with your whole metabolism. Trust me on this. Another thing you might want to start doing is counting calories. I think we've discussed this before, right? But there's no reason to not do this, specifically macros. Let me be even more specific, macros. There's so many apps nowadays that are easy to do this, and they're free, like MyFitnessPal. There are other free apps out there, right? Track your macros. You know, if you're trying to go from point A to point B, driving a car, you have no speedometer, you have no GPS, your gas gauge doesn't work. What are the odds of you getting from point A to point B? You need to track your macros. This ties back to what we talked about up top with protein, right? Protein is one of the macronutrients. If you don't know how much of you eating, you're most likely not going to eat enough. Same way if you eat too many carbs or too much fat, again, you have a problem, right? Now, what are some things that you're doing that you probably should stop doing? That, again, even with the theme of effortlessly, right, is you guys are drinking too many calories. Sodas, healthy drinks, etc. The problem with these sugary things, right, is spiking your blood sugar, which is going to end up with more fat, right? Because you're going to spike insulin, which is going to, insulin either stores glucose or fat, right, for energy. And too much, spike your blood sugar too much, a lot of that energy is going to get stored as fat. It's not an accident when you drink too many sugar things, you get fat, right? It's as simple as that. You're also eating too many refined grains, right? Which surprisingly is almost as bad as sugar. As a matter of fact, flour is worse than table sugar when it comes to raising your blood sugar. You notice a common theme here, right? You want to avoid raising that blood sugar. That just leads to getting fat or diabetes or both, right? So again, you're spiking insulin, helping to store stuff as fat, right? Another thing that you guys do, I used to be terrible at this, eating right before bed. And funny enough, this ties into going to sleep on time, right? Does this ever happen to you? It's happened to me all the time. You eat dinner at a normal time, really normal time, but you stay up too late. Then you get hungry. Your ass gets hungry. Then you eat again, and then you go to sleep. Do not do this. Do not do this. Big no-no, right? So you see how these things correlate together? You need to eat dinner early enough so your ass can go to bed on time. If you don't go to bed on time, you're going to mess up other things, and again, you're going to get fat. So you notice it's hard to do one without doing the other, and you just mess one thing up, it has an impact on other things, right? And I just thought of this right now, right? So try to avoid. Shoot for at least 2 hours. Let's call it 3. So if you miss the third, you can 2 hours before. Now, there's one caveat. If you know what you're doing, protein before bed is good. That increases muscle protein synthesis. That's why you're not getting buffer. But that's for another show. Right now, we're just focusing on ways to effortlessly lose belly fat. Again, effortlessly. Common theme, not clickbait, right? I'm going to pause here and check the chat a second here. What do I got going on? I'm going to pause. What are macronutrients? Okay, we're going to come back to that. Now, what are some extra effortless tips to lose your gut, right? To shrink that tummy in a couple of months, right? Let's be realistic here. None of that lose the belly fat in 2 weeks nonsense or lose the fupa in 2 weeks. Yeah, anyway, that's not possible. Not even if you're a mutant could you do that. Here's a simple one. Use smaller plates, right? Smaller plates. I mean, we've all grown up being conditioned to eat everything on your plate, right? I remember years ago seeing this study. It was pretty cool. They took a bowl and they attached a device beneath it. The bowl was fixed to a table in a restaurant, and it was artificially refilling the bowl with soup. And some people would just keep eating, keep dipping the spoon in. Several people would eat like 2, 3 bowls of soup because you're conditioned. They didn't even realize it wasn't going down. Think how crazy that is, because they're talking, sipping, talking, and they just keep mindlessly slurp, slurp, slurp. If you use smaller plates, you will eat less food. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. Another easy one, eat a big breakfast. It's a common thing for overweight people to skip breakfast. I say that with many clients. Skip breakfast. Worst thing you could do, right? You're not setting yourself up for success. And you don't believe me, there's so many studies on this. Here's one. The journal Obesity found that participants who woke up to a hearty morning breakfast lost more weight than those who restricted their calories. Think about that. They ate more food and they lost more weight. Win-win, right? You're not starving and you're losing weight. Turning off the TV. This ties into sleep again, right? You see the correlation? A study in the American Journal of Epidemiology, say that fast 2 times, found that subjects who slept in the darkest rooms were 21% less likely to be obese than those sleeping in rooms with the most lights. That is pretty big. Again, this ties into the sleep that we discussed earlier, right? Because when you keep that TV on, what are you going to do? Stay up and watch it. Have you ever had this happen to you? It's late at night, you're getting fatigued, falling asleep, and suddenly you get another surge of energy. It's the TV. All that artificial light hitting your eyes, stimulating your body, telling your body it's daytime, slowing down the release of melatonin. That's the hormone that makes you get sleepy, for those who don't know. All of that stuff is going to make you stay up, which we already went over is very bad. Muy mal. Very, very bad, right? Even when you fall asleep with the TV on, sleep studies have shown that that artificial light disrupts your sleep. You may not consciously be aware of this, but trust me, it disrupts your sleep, which disrupts your metabolism, i.e. burning calories to i.e. burn your belly fat. Here's a simple one. Keep healthy food around, right? And this is a no-brainer, right? But basically, get rid of all of the junk out of your pantry. If it is not there, you cannot eat it. And put healthy stuff in there. I think I've said this on other shows where when I do my ice cream cake sandwiches, if I'm losing control of myself, I'll just throw them away. Because you know what happened? Like tonight, if I want one, you know what I got to do? I got to leave my house, get in the car, drive to the supermarket to buy them. I have to really want that ice cream cake sandwich to go through all that trouble, right? So my pantry is pretty clean. I'll have some cheat stuff, but it's not that much. Now, if your pantry is full of garbage, you know what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to eat it. Eventually, you cannot rely on willpower. You will always fail. Now, get some more sunlight. This is another easy thing. Again, the theme here is easy. Donate the food, the bad food, right? Keep a couple things. Just get out more. A study in the journal PLOS1 found that exposing yourself to direct sunlight between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. can reduce your chance of packing on the pounds regardless of activity level, caloric intake, or age. That's pretty big. That ties into the sleep thing. We'll get into more detail on that and probably in another show, but you sleep properly, you wake up early, you go outside, the sun hits your face, lots of good things happen. It's normal. That's why when you stay in the house too long, you get stir crazy, right? Or for those of you people who live in places with long winters, that kind of sucks. Or those people who live in those places that have higher suicide rates, that's not an accident. We all need sunlight, vitamin D. Don't add crap to your coffee, right? Now in the US, they say over 60%, 67% of coffee drinkers add some sugar, milk, cream, or some other garbage to the coffee, right? Now, that stuff has so many calories in it. It's small little packets, but it's a ton. It adds up. Because most people who drink coffee drink a couple cups a day. The Starbucks stuff, that super sweet stuff, a gazillion calories in there, right? Just drink it black. I mean, as a matter of fact, coffee has some fat burning abilities, but if you add all that garbage, that's negated big time. Another effortless thing to do is fill your plate with veggies. Like half of your plate, a third, a quarter, but shoot for half, I would say. Worst case, a third. If you start eating vegetables first, it will fill you up. I remember my first coach, she told me this, that IFBB Pro Bikini Model, that's International Federation of Bodybuilders. She told me, Kirk, eat the veggies first, eat the meat second, whatever space you have left, eat the carbs. It was such simple advice and so practical. If you eat the veggies, it's going to fill you up. You can only eat so much dessert after you've eaten veggies, a big piece of meat, and some regular carbs. There's only so much you can eat then, right? Here's a unique one. Spaghetti squash. I was surprised when I stumbled onto this, right? It's, for those of you like your noodles and all that stuff, it's still thick and healthy, but one cup of this crap is only 40 calories. I was like, wow, 40 calories. And it's actually real food. It's not fake food. It's not made up food. It's real. So that's crazy. 40 calories. That's like nothing. Nothing. For those who like things like asparagus, there is folate in asparagus. It's in other things too, but there's a study in the British Journal of Nutrition that found that adding folate to obese patients' diet increased their weight loss success by 28%. 28%. That is huge. That is huge. Eat that asparagus. Of course, you could have some of you, you know, it may smell kind of funny coming out one end, but that's a separate thing. Another simple tip, again, with the effortless theme here, right, is eat apples. What's that old saying? An apple a day keeps the doctor away? I think that's like a global saying, basically. Studies show that enjoying an apple before a meal decreases total caloric intake at that meal. You ever notice when you eat an apple, how it fills you up? It's simple, right? I mean, it's amazing. Just this one damn apple just really fills you up. It's practically impossible to overeat apples as well. You can eat 1, 2, then go eat your meal, right? There's some stuff that's showing apples, how good it could be in the morning as well, but that's probably for another show, right? So those are some effortless things you can do. They're inexpensive and they're easy to do. None of those things that is totally involve sweat, going to a gym, starving, torturing yourself, none of those things. Well, I mean, if you empty the pantry of your favorite naughty things, then yeah, maybe that could be construed as torture. I don't know, but yeah. All right, let's check out what we got going on in the comments here. We got a bunch of things going here. Yes, skincare do's and don'ts. Yes, we all want to lose belly fat. Yes, myself included. I think unless you have perfect abs, you want to lose some belly fat. Yeah, I think that's safe to say. Safe to say. Yes, Igwe's daughter, really interested in the topic. Belly fat is a hella stubborn. Yes, it is. It really is. You know, we touched on this the other day. When you do some of these procedures to get rid of fat and the body brings it back, some of these surgeries or all these other kind of gimmicky things, your body puts it down in the abdomen area around internal organs. It's trying to put it in a hard to reach, hard to get rid of place. So it's not accident that it's hard to get rid of. It is. Visceral fat is hard to get rid of, right? That's not an accident. That is not an accident. It's a pretty good comment. Yeah, protein is perceived as bad by skincare dudes and everyone wants to be vegan. Yeah, that's interesting, you know, because veganism can work, but some people confuse veganism with not getting protein. And if you are vegan, you do have to be careful to make sure you're getting enough protein and other nutrients, right? You do have to be careful with that because it's easy to be vitamin B12 deficient and some other potential issues there, but it can be done. Positive therapist, great tip, drinking water before meals. Yes, it is a very good tip, very good tip. And it's so simple, right? I mean, just think of any time you're hungry, but you end up drinking something, whether it's water or something else, you notice it was harder to go eat a big meal. It's almost impossible. If you've not eaten dinner yet, just try it. Just drink a glass or 2 glasses, or try it tomorrow morning with breakfast or at lunch. You'll notice it is literally physically impossible for you to eat as much food as you normally eat. Practically impossible. practically impossible. And it's so simple to do. And it has other benefits. You get extra energy as well, you know. Most people don't eat enough or drink enough water, rather. Sleep good vibes. Sleep good vibes is vital to your health. That is true. That is true. That is also correct. I also need to put the link for you guys, any of you guys who want to come backstage and get on the show. There's the link to the show. So if you want to come on and chat with me, you don't have to turn on your camera, but that would be optimal. Click that link, you'll come backstage and I'll bring you on and we can chat. Voice your opinion on this topic. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, etc. Shout out to Sly View Media. I don't sleep and I eat maybe one time a day late p.m. when I get off work at like midnight and then don't sleep till about 5 or 6 a.m. How do you lose when your schedule just doesn't work? That is a great question. A lot of people with shift stuff struggle with this kind of thing. So you don't sleep till about 5 or 6. So first question is, are you working at night or are you working in the day? But I'll answer this two ways. So let's say you're working in the day and you're going to bed at midnight. Well, assume you're not, but let's say that's what you were doing. Then the obvious answer is to go to sleep earlier. But if you're working late at night, you're like shift like nurse, some kind of shift worker, other shift worker, and you're going to sleep in those mornings, things to help with better sleep would be a night mask. You're trying to mimic night in the daytime, right? Get blackout curtains. The night mask thing make a huge difference. That's a huge difference right there. And blackout curtains keep the temperature cooler than you think. I mean, it may feel slightly cool/cold before you fall asleep, but when you fall asleep, studies show you'll sleep better. Your body will just kind of warm up. As a matter of fact, it can help you burn fat too. That was my motivation for trying that the first time. So when your schedule is tricky like that, you have to really nail the sleep. You have to nail the sleep. It's not optimal, but you have to nail the sleep because the sleep is what's going to screw you. There's no doubt about it, right? Now, if you're eating at midnight, but then going to sleep at 5 or 6, then that's fine because you're not eating right before bed, assuming you're shift workers. Because I've spoken to some people about this before as well. The worst thing you can do is not eat when you're working late at night. That's the worst thing. You know you're compounding your problem. As a matter of fact, we do have Sly Robinson backstage. So let me bring Sly on stage. Hello, Sly. How are you? Oh, no, we cannot. Oh, I think I got to unmute you. Aha.
My mic was muted.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hi. I'm
Good
calling
evening.
for work.
Okay.
So I that's why I decided to call in. So I work at a restaurant. I work at a pizza place called Anthony's Pizza.
Okay.
So when I do eat late at night, it's pizza.
Okay.
And then I go home. It takes me about because I take public transportation, so I know that affects it as well.
Right.
So I get home around midnight, right?
Okay.
I heat up my pizza. I catch up on my shows and stuff for the day. I catch up on my Instagram and all that stuff.
Okay.
Because I have last minute energy that I'm trying to burn out, so I can go to sleep. But it never happens. And then by the time I know I can't go to sleep right then and there because I just ate pizza.
Okay.
So I end up sleeping around 5, 6, and then I take care of my mom. So I'm probably up around 9. And then I have to run errands, do stuff that I need to do for me. Maybe I got my own doctor's appointment or something.
Okay.
And then I'm off to work again. So those are and I do have sleep apnea. So based off what my doctor told me, I went to the sleep study and everything.
Okay.
I'm not really sleeping when I'm supposed to be sleeping.
Yes.
So I do have like an appointment coming up so I can be able to get the mask and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
like little things, and it's like I want to lose weight, but then I don't have the energy nor the motivation to really like, yeah, let me go spend hundreds of dollars at the gym
Right.
just to be bored.
I know what you mean. Yeah. So I have sleep apnea, so I know what you mean. When I the CPAP machine, I felt like a new human being. I mean, it was dramatically different. And I remember when I did labs after that, everything, my blood work got better, literally across the board. The doctor could show me that. Because yeah, sleep apnea is terrible. You're right. You're literally suffocating throughout the night, and that's gonna make losing fat pretty hard. You have crappy energy, and depending how bad your sleep apnea is, I don't know how bad yours are. I think I had
Oh,
moderate sleep apnea.
it's top tier level bad.
Oh, so that's yeah,
Like
that's pretty bad.
even at the sleep clinic, the man kept waking me up because he thought I was gonna die.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah. So this is going to impact you even worse than myself. Now, regarding the not being able to fall asleep, like right now, I can see where you are. You know, the bright lights, right, where you're working, just like a hospital. So all that blue light is stimulating you. Then you get on your phone, the public transportation, the bright lights. So one very affordable thing I can show you. Let me share my screen. Hopefully, I have no technical difficulties like the other night. Share tab. I don't know if you've heard of these things, blue light blocking glasses. Share tab. I'm going to share my Amazon. So I wear these. Well, can you see? Can you guys see my screen yet? Okay, yeah. Can you see my screen? I think you can. Did I lose you, Sly? Are you still there? Okay. So these glasses, right? Blue light blocking glasses, pretty affordable, $14.75. These things will block that light. So when you leave work, you can start wearing them. Yes, they look kind of weird. If you don't want to wear them in public, fully understand, but at least put them on when you get home. You'll find you'll immediately start to get sleepy. All that stimulation you're getting from all that blue light, those bright lights, it's going to reduce that. It's amazing how effective this stuff is. And I mean, with Amazon free returns, if you have this thing for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, rather, it doesn't work, just return it. But I would be shocked if it didn't work. I would be shocked if it didn't work. Right? That's the first thing. Then you also mentioned eating the pizza, right? So I would say try to switch that from pizza to some protein type meal, like chicken, right? Something with protein, because that's less likely to gonna turn to fat. And you're still gonna feel satiated. I think you're muted again, by the way. Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Nope, I can't hear you. Never mind, I can't hear you. Okay. I think you're frozen right now. Okay, I think you're back. Nope, and you're not muted. Nope, you're not muted on my end. I think what we could do, let me paste the link here. And I could kick you out and you just come right back in. That might just solve the problem. So I'm just going to kick you out and then you can click the link and get back in. Just I think that made us fix the sound. Right. Okay, so I sent the link again. Just click the link and I'll bring you right back up, Sly. Yeah, a lot of people are in this position. So it's a pretty good conversation to try and help him out. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Good question from Skincare Using. What are macros? Right, I should have probably explained that. So macros are short for macronutrients. You have protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Protein, the amino acids, the building block for muscles. Carbs, I'm oversimplifying things. For energy, think rice, sweet potatoes. Protein, think chicken, steak, fish. Fat, as the name implied, is fats. Fat could be in avocado, could be in chicken, could be in beef, or it is rather, I should say, in an egg, etc. So those are the macronutrients. Typically, most people don't eat enough protein and they eat either too much carbs or too much fat or too much carbs and too much fat, but not enough protein. So that's why I was saying earlier, one of the big tips is just eat more protein. There's many, many, many benefits to that. Another good question from Sly. I've had high blood pressure since a kid. Does that affect weight loss? Yeah, anything that's messing with your body essentially is going to affect weight loss. Can't think of any studies off the top of my head, but yeah, that's going to affect things for sure. As to the exact mechanism of how it would be, that I do not know. But I know if you, or shouldn't say, if when you get the CPAP machine for your sleep apnea, that is going to impact blood pressure. Because I remember when I was getting my CPAP machine, I'm there with the nurse, there was this big poster showing that a lot of people with high blood pressure, it's because they have sleep apnea. So that's another thing. Terrible sleep affects things of that nature, right? Great comment here. Water drinking can be so monotonous. Can't speak. Any tips on how to get in enough water throughout the day? Great comment. So what I did, it wasn't planned, it kind of accidentally. I'd gone from soda to orange juice to like Propel, I think it was. Then I went to flavored water because my taste buds were just so messed up, right? I just needed so much sugar to drink anything. I could not drink water. It tasted awful to me. So the flavored, even before flavored water, I think I was using Crystal Light. You know, those little packets you tear, pour in. Again, is it the greatest? No, but it's a hell of a lot better than sugar. Right. So you could say you're titrating yourself down, you're weaning yourself down to get to water, because when your taste buds are more sensitive, water can taste good. Like I can honestly say water tastes good, especially if I'm thirsty or I'm working out. It literally tastes refreshing to me. There's some of these kombucha drinks, they hardly have any sugar, like 6 grams of sugar, 10 grams. They taste sweet to me. 5 years ago, I couldn't drink crap like that. I mean, eating a carrot would taste like us biting into a lemon. That's how messed up my taste buds would be. It's a great comment. I know a lot of people struggling with that. So while the tip is just drink more water, drink flavored water. There's lots of these little flavored water things. Eventually, your taste buds can get more sensitive to just go to pure water. So great point there. Welcome, Patricia Lopez, to the show. Hello, hello. Hey, no problem, Sly. Hey, feel free to call back in. Here's the link. Because I think we're having a pretty good conversation. I think I've gone through all the problems you're going through currently. Believe me. Here's a good comment by Slice. Is drinking a smoothie as a meal replacement a good idea? No, not a good idea. One of the tips I was saying here is to avoid liquid calories, right? Because when you drink a couple hundred, let's say you drink 200 calories of liquid, right? And most smoothies are not healthy anyway. But let's pretend it was healthy and you drank it. What's going to happen an hour later? You're hungry. So you're either going to drink another one or eat some food. Now, if you had a piece of chicken with some rice or sweet potatoes or whatever, you know what happens an hour later? You're not hungry. You're not hungry. And it's probably cheaper than the smoothie too, right? Smoothies tend to be loaded with sugar and loaded with all kind of garbage, right? But even if you found a healthy one, which is hard to do, it's not satiating, right? Not satiating. So one tip too, for if you're gonna drink something that's food, make it be a protein shake. And you can use less water to make it thick. Think milkshake, right? You know, when you'd suck on a milkshake, that will at least keep you full for a while. So if you make the protein shake thick enough, that can keep me full for like 2-3 hours. Where if you make it very liquidy, hour, 2 hours later, you're hungry again, or maybe you're starving, right? No, you're not messing up everywhere, Sly. I mean, a couple of years ago, I don't know if you saw my before and after pictures on the channel, but yeah, I was clinically obese. What else? You know, dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis. My scalp would flake like crazy. Couldn't brush my teeth in one go at night. That was a mess. All sorts of things going wrong with me. So you're not messing up everywhere, I would say not. I mean, you called into the show, you got on this show, so that's a good thing. Yeah. So we're left off for you, Sly. I'm not sure if you can't get back on, but you know, with the pizza, you work at a pizza place, right? So it's easy to just eat the pizza. But I'm assuming you guys also sell some kind of meat there, like chicken maybe or something. So that would be better than the pizza, right? But what you don't want to do, if you have to work late, you don't want to not eat. So you don't want to compound your problem and then go into some starvation mode, because that's not going to make you, I mean, you may lose some weight at first, but then you're going to mess up your metabolism and get fat. So yeah, don't do that. But try to just go with protein, right? Eat some chicken or whatever else that, I forget what you said, it was called Anthony's, I think. Anthony's Pizza. Was it Anthony's Pizza you said? I'm trying to look it up to see if I can see their menu. Anthony's Pizza menu. Okay, you slicing meatballs and wings in the chat. Yes. So let's do Anthony's. I'm assuming it's Anthony's Pizza, you said. Okay. Let's go there. Let me share my screen again so you guys, we can look at the menu together. Okay. Before I do that, let me just post that in there. And if you've not hit the like button and the subscribe button, hit both of those, please. That helps me out. Say share screen. Let other people be aware of this show. Tab Anthony's coal-fired pizza. Anthony's coal-fired pizza and wings. Okay. Menu. Dessert pasta. So first of all, is this the correct thing? Let me know, Sly, if I'm at the wrong Anthony's Pizza. Sandwich, desserts, coal-fired starters. What's this? Ah, this must be the meatballs you're talking about. Okay, lime, Italian plum, tomato sauce, roasted chicken wings, coal-fired, blah, 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 blah. So here, I would eat the wings, but not the bread. Right? Don't bother with the bread right here. Caesar salad. Yeah, this is not terribly useful from a nutrient point of view. Romaine lettuce. Well, it's not iceberg lettuce, which is totally just water. So this, the salad will be good, but don't put any other salad dressing on it. I'm sure the salad dressing in our Caesar dressing, it probably, really pumps it up. But let's see. Do they put the calories here? 410 calories, 650. Toss in our homemade Caesar dressing. Crow with Romano cheese. Now this, I don't know for sure here, but I'm guessing the dressing is a big part of this 650 calories and the 410. They don't, I can't see here to figure out how much that is. Probably some extra research we could figure that out. I'm not sure how much of the cheese is added here or the croutons. But worst case scenario, don't use the dressings, and you can eat the salad with the meatballs. So let's now look at the meatballs. to see if those are good or bad. Actually, let's look at the chicken wings. Those do look yummy, I got to admit. It's roasted, so it's not fried, so that's good. Fireworks are made fresh, never the seasonings, blah, 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 blah. Calories 280 to 1130. Now, this you got to be careful with. Look at the wide range here, 280 calories to 1130. That is humongous, right? 5 wings. So 5 is 280, 10 to 20, that's 4 times. Yeah, that's about that. Okay. So 5 wings are 280 calories. The flavoring. Now you probably can't get it without the flavoring. So here I would probably limit myself to 5 wings. And again, this is with a caveat depending on how much food you're eating in the day, right? That I'm not sure about. If a typical male who's active, you're on your feet, you're moving around, so you're relatively active. You're not sitting at the desk all day. 1,800, 2,000 calories in a day, generally speaking. Let's look at the meatballs. So here's another thing. You could probably download MyFitnessPal and search for this to get the exact ingredients, the exact breakdown, the macros, the protein, the carbs, and the fat, to even figure out which would be really good options for you. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find it in MyFitnessPal now. Anthony's meatballs. Yes, coal-fired pizza, 2 meatballs. All right, so this is not green checked mark. Let's see, 740 calories. Yeah, because this one talks about 419 for 2 meatballs. Whereas here they put 740. Okay, so this is not accurate. What I'm seeing here are these meatballs have a good amount of fat in them. Not surprised. So the meatballs may not be so good. The fact that 2 meatballs is 740 calories, a good chunk of this is probably fat. So between the meatballs and the wings are the lesser of 2 evils for sure. Because if we go back to the wings, I think that was like 280 for 5. Yeah, 280 for 5. So, you could literally eat 10 wings to equal 2 meatballs. You 2 meatballs, your ass is going to be hungry shortly. Eat 10 wings, a much better chance you won't be starving later, right? Throw in that Caesar salad without the dressing. Let's see if I can find the wings. Anthony's wings. 280. Yeah, this looks close. And yeah, and these wings are high in fat as well, too. But it's still, I'm guessing they're still better than the meatballs, for sure. So that's the kind of thinking you'd want to use eating here, in a sense. I'd go with the wings instead of the meatballs. Let me run back to the chat to see if there's anything else that's even pointing out. Anthony points out, yes, a lot of mayo and oil and Romano cheese and dressing. Yes, you're a chef there, so yeah, you would know, right? As a matter of fact, perhaps you can make like customized meatballs there, and Sly. As a matter of fact, can you do that? Because you're in the kitchen, right? Can you make your own meatballs there, like customized? Like with less stuff in there? Because maybe just add a less sauce than usual, right? Something of that nature. Can you do that? Let me know in the chat if you can. Because that could be a great solution there. It's kind of like cooking at home, right? You control how much stuff goes in there. Because let me tell you, salads can be great, but they nail you on that damn dressing, man. That's what you can take a normal salad, add some crap dressing, boom, you're 1,000 calories. Shout out to the super chat. Always shout out for the super chat. If someone chooses to do a homemade smoothie, what would you recommend to be used so it's nutrient dense and healthy? That's a great question, a tricky question. So the first thing I'd use for sure is a protein powder. That's the first thing, right? You want it. The goal of the smoothie is it not to be a sugary carb drink. You optimally want it to be protein. So put protein there, protein powder. Try, I would say, shoot for 40 grams. Yeah, the typical serving size, a lot of these things is 20 grams, but most of y'all, pretty much all of y'all, don't eat enough protein anyway. So let's make it be 40 grams at the minimum. Let's see, blueberries are healthy. Throw those in there. If you can afford it, I would say organic. Try to go organic if possible. All right, blueberries are good. They add flavor to it, and they're not with a ton of sugar. Blackberries are good as well. Let's see what else. Those are some things off the top of my head. Be careful with you not using water. Like you had some of these milks. Be careful that they don't have a ton of fat, just a ton of calories, a ton of carbs, ton of fat, etc. You know, some of these milks are basically just sugary drinks, right? So water can be good enough. You don't need to add one of these specialty milks to your smoothie, because at the end of the day, you don't want it to just be a damn sugary drink, right? That defeats the purpose of the smoothie. Also, you need it to be thick, right? Because if it's not thick, you're gonna be hungry again. This is defeating the purpose, right? Very good question. Okay, so Sly says, unfortunately, they have a set way. Okay, so these things, Sly, come pre-seasoned is what it sounds like what you're saying. Okay. So in that case, then stick to the wings. You know, I did a funny experiment with Applebee's. Is one of my cheat meals, the ribs. I love the ribs. And I put the sauce on the side, and I had less problems with like my sinuses and all this other kind of stuff. So that may be another thing that can affect your slide with a sleep apnea. Because, you know, when your nose is stuffed up, you're going to be even more likely to breathe through your mouth, right? That's the purpose of the CPAP machine, to shove air up your nostril to make sure you don't breathe through your mouth. Now, if your nose is clogged up because some of these sauces is creating issues, then that's going to make the problem worse. But I'm glad you discovered about the sleep apnea, because that thing is a killer, man. That's a killer. Thanks for the super chat, I agree. Yes, Sly. It's just one step at a time, man. Just one step at a time. I think the show is perfect for you. I think most of the things, while it says effortless, I know it's not effortless, or it's not easy, I should say, right? To just drink more water or to go to bed on time. It's easier said than done. I struggle with this myself. I'm not going to lie. I struggle with this myself, right? But at least if you're making the attempt, you try to get to bed at, say, I'm not talking to you, Sly, because you know you're working at night. But let's say you try to get about 10 and you end up at 11. That's better than 1 a.m., right? So just a quick recap, Sly, when you go home with a sleep. I should put the link to those glasses in here. Let me do that. For anybody that has problems with sleep, this stuff can help you, right? Because again, you're blocking that blue light. Trust me, this stuff works. And Amazon, their return policy is ridiculous, right? Nowadays, you just go to the store with the product. You don't have to pre-package it or anything, whether it's your Whole Foods or Lowe's or some of these other places that take stuff back with the drop zones. When I wear those glasses, I just conk out. Effortlessly, I conk out. Very effortlessly. So trust me on that. You're making progress, like lots of I give you a lot of credit for coming up on the show. Enough respect for that. So let's see. Okay, got another super chat. Okay. From, I am going to butcher this name. Wizimana Angelique. Wizimana Angelique. Did I get that right? Wizimana Angelique. I like getting people's names correctly. So she has a comment. Hello, I really like using soy milk, and I've heard some bad news about it. What are your thoughts on soy milk, and what is the best non-dusty milk to use? First of all, make sure that it has what it claims to have in there, right? What's a good website? EWG Environmental Working Group. I think they do stuff like this. Let me see. EWG soy milk. There are websites you can go to find what is nonsense or not. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Or is my screen still being shared? Actually, my screen still is being. Oh, I got to pick a new tab. So that's a limit to this screen sharing thing here. So I got to stop screen sharing and start again. Oh, well, I guess I could have just stayed on the same tab. Okay, rookie mistake. So you guys are going to see how the sausage is made, right? This is the kind of thing that you guys can do as well. So I opened a new tab and I typed EWG soy milk. What's EWG? Environmental Working Group. It's like Consumer Reports. It's a not-for-profit. You can actually trust them. They're not taking ads or any of that nonsense. So let's see. So my EW food scores, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's try this. So they give some ratings to these things. To show you which one is bad or not, right? So here are brands that they're recommending. And let's see some stuff that's not so good. Items per page 40. Let's see. Let's see if they have any not so good ones. As you see, the higher the number, the crappier the milk. So the crappiest one is this. I've never even heard of this brand. And organic doesn't always mean good, because sometimes you have some brands that are organic, but their quality is crappy, right? So apparently this one is pretty good. So let me do this. Let me put this in the chat. So that's a way, you know, so here's a good general tip, guys. When I was fat and trying to transform, I started reading the labels. I think I was listening to Ben Greenfield's fitness podcast, and you really have to pick up the label, right? And when you look at the back and you see things you can't pronounce, you have no clue what it is, just Google it. You'll be shocked at how much bad stuff is in food. I don't know, your deodorant, your lipstick, whatever, right? Just Google these things. Then look at how much calories are there, how much carbs, how much fat, how much sugar, things like that nature. Don't just pick something up. I mean, that's why we're growing up. We're used to just grabbing stuff and, you know, put it in the cart and moving on and whatever. But try to actually start to read the labels, right? And just do simple Google searches like what I just did to try to figure out what's going on with these things. So that was a great question by Angelique. Uize Mana. Hopefully I'm getting that right. And thanks again for the super chat. And let me know if you want to come, guys want to come backstage. Let me find where that is again. My little link. Let me post that in here again. Slide view. I started to drink. Spring slap here again. I started to drink more water. I'm getting help with the sleep, and if I get the mental together, I think I'll be better. Yeah, you know, thanks for saying that. That's a very good point. And I think I passed one of your things earlier about mental health. Let me scroll back. This is a great question. What's your philosophy about mental health and weight loss? Yeah, this is pretty important because typically you try to change based on looks. Like you want to look better, right? I wanted to look better. I went to the beach. I was the only fat person there. No exaggeration. I was the only fat person there. So that started to help motivate, but that turned out to not be enough. Most of us don't change because the doctor tells us we're unhealthy, right? That's usually not enough. Trying to look better helps, but you really want to try to dig a little deeper to figure out the whys, some deeper whys that will really keep you going when it gets tough. Because eventually it does get tough, right? Some people are, let's say, they want to be able to play with their kids. They don't have energy. I interviewed a lady who had lost 150 pounds. 150 pounds. That's a human. She was embarrassed when she would show up to class and she's always sweating, even though it's winter, right? She was drenched. Or she once got kicked off of a ride. You know, she couldn't fit into the booths in restaurants. So she had several whys, and that helps you keep you going. So the mental aspect is huge, Sly, right? Huge. That's a great point. It's a big, big thing. You need to understand your whys because you're trying to create a habit, right? Like brushing your teeth. You do it every day without thinking about it. Is that same thing because you cannot rely on willpower. That's been so proven. So, for example, if you have the urge for that pizza like late at night, just eat the damn pizza, right? Because if you sit there going, "Oh, I'm never going to eat pizza again, I'm going to stop," eventually, when you crack, and we all crack under torture, you will go crazy. You'll go on a pizza bender. Let's go crazy on the pizza, right? So it's better you eat one slice every couple of days than you just go crazy and eat pizzas plural over a couple of days. So the mental aspect is quite important. It's very important. And support groups help. That's why, you know, whether it's having a workout buddy or some accountability partner. Oh, here's another tip. Telling people publicly what you're going to do. Like what you did coming on the show, that's pretty good. Tell other people, all right? When I was transforming, I told people at the office, that helped. Some people cheered me on. Some people tried to not offer me things as a result because they knew I was trying to change, right? So that's another way, some tips off the top of my head that could help you. But that's a great question. Sorry, I'd passed it. So let me scroll back down. Yes, here's a great point by Igwe's daughter. You know, yes, live view sounds like you have a lot on your plate. I heard you say that you're also taking care of your mother. Make sure you take care of you too. Mind and body need to be healthy. That's a great point. You do have a lot going on. You're taking care of yourself and your mother. Yep. Shout out to taking care of your elders. Yeah, enough respect for that. You know, so that's pretty good that you're doing that. I really think when you get home and you wear those glasses, it's going to be difficult for you to stay up. Like you said, catch up on your shows, Instagram, what have you, right? One thing I try to do when possible. So, for example, when I lived in a city with much more, like say Boston or some more public transportation, especially nowadays with phones, you can just enjoy your shows on the phone. I'm not sure the situation, but you know, you can hold your phone up, right, and be watching something on Netflix or something you downloaded or what have you, to try to kill two birds with one stone. And I know you want to unwind when you get home, so don't get me wrong. I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, man, trust me, get those glasses. That will make a big difference. I'm going to copy that link again in here so people don't have to scroll back and find it. But yeah, anybody having issues with sleep, you know, like you're awake midnight and you're just not tired. Yeah. So the glasses, blue light blocking glasses, turn down the temperature a little bit. Just try a degree or two for the first time. If you can get blackout curtains, for sure the night mask. As a matter of fact, let me find one of those that I can recommend. Because even if you can't get the blackout curtains, a more affordable option is to get the night mask. So let me see if I can find this one that I like. Okay, Sleep Master Sleep Mask. Oh, currently unavailable. Okay. Find us something else. Let's see, which one am I sharing? I'm sharing this screen, so let's get off here. Amazon will show up here now, I think. Yeah. So this is the one I use, but it says unavailable. So I guess they're not making it anymore. Some of this stuff might be gibberish. Let's try this. Because there's so much, sometimes it's just garbage stuff being sold on Amazon. And sometimes you can't even trust the reviews. But you want to get something like this. Not necessarily this one, because I don't know about this one. But you want something that really covers. That's why I used the one I was using before. Or another option, I think I saw this other one, which had like pouches. You know, stuff, well, maybe not this specific, but something that's not laying flush on your eye. Because one of the things that make these things uncomfortable is when it's touching your face. So you have some that are like a little pocket, almost like goggles. Something, I guess that's what this is trying. Because I had these other ones that were kind of like that, goggle-like. So you have a lot of these things now. Again, I don't know if this one is any good, but you know, you'd want to do some research to check the user ratings. This has no ratings. I wouldn't buy anything that has no ratings. I would not trust that because there's so much junk on Amazon, unfortunately. A lot of junk there. But then there was another one, mask. I think there's this other type of, but yeah, I don't think I make that one either anymore. Okay. So yeah, but that would definitely make a difference for sure. Okay. Hey, welcome to the show, Nicholas. Really useful stuff. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that, Nicholas. Yep, I agree. This is a very good positive attitude to have from Sly. Thank you, sir. I will be in touch, and it's helpful because of what you're saying. This is your circumstance, and here's how you can make changes with what you got. Yep, I agree. You can make changes with what you have. Trust me, it can be done. Believe me. You're already on the sleep apnea thing. You're gonna, like, I felt like I had a new body the first night I slept with that thing, right? So it's quite incredible when for those who don't know what sleep apnea is, you're essentially, it's like you're suffocating through the night. You stop breathing and then you're right. And your sleep quality, even if you don't consciously wake up, your sleep quality is so disturbed that you're not sleeping properly, right? So it definitely creates a problem when you keep kind of a thing. So think of suffocating through the night. So you're creating all this stress. Your brain doesn't get to do what it's supposed to do to like clean things up the way it's supposed to. So your memory suffers. And he said he had bad sleep apnea. Because I remember when I was talking to that nurse, the bad sleep apnea people, you know, this guy like fell asleep at the table. And I met a guy, he would fall asleep at the traffic light, right? When it's really that bad. So yeah, it can be quite terrible. Here's a good point by the positive therapist. There's nothing wrong with seeking help, seeing a therapist. The body keeps the score and holding things inside is unhealthy. That's, yes, very wise words there. So I'm not sure there as well. I mean, a lot of companies offer some kind of free call-in therapy, right? You can at least get that. I forget the term for it. But a lot of companies have these call-in things, especially because of the pandemic and COVID. That's another thing that's creating stress with people. It's been shown, right? So you have a lot of these companies have these hotlines to call in. As a matter of fact, I think you might even have like a government one. I like to say. Let me check. COVID help. I don't know, therapy. Let's see, therapy hotline. You can see I'm a big user of Google. The truth is out there. You just got to go search for it. COVID emotional support helpline. This is in New York, but I mean, there's a number. I don't know if you can call. Yeah, I doubt they can say or necessarily. Cuomo announced a new helpline for people who are experiencing overwhelming anxiety, stress, and depression brought on by the coronavirus emergency. Call now for help. I don't know if this is still active. Let's see. Let's click on this and see. So here's one for New York. I don't know if you're in Florida, Sly, or what state you're in exactly. But here is something, again, I'm just using Google, right? And I found something, let me go back. Whoops. Let me go back here. Okay, so I Googled, COVID therapy hotline, and I found this. This says for New York State. Are you guys seeing this? Oh, no. I'm in the wrong tab. So I'm here. Okay, this is the Google tab. So COVID therapy hotline, right? And there's a national treatment of mental substance use disorders. But I'm not sure if that's COVID related. But I did find this. So apparently, emotional support helpline. I'm pretty sure whatever state you're in, there's probably something like this as well. So, I would look for things of that nature. The Paris EAP. Yes, that was it. Thanks to the puzzle therapist. The Employee Assistance Program, 68 sessions. Do you know if is that required by law? By any chance? I don't know if you know this or not. But yeah, every company I've been at, they've had that. So I don't know if it's a requirement or what. Of course, you can always Google that too, right? Is EAP required by law? No federal. Doesn't say what it's required, but I know a lot of companies have them. A lot of companies have these things. I just did a quick Google search. Welcome, Ascension Rebecca. Welcome to the show. Oh, yeah. If I focus on something too long, I fall asleep while awake. Yeah, this was happening to me. That's when I knew I really had to get myself tested, because I'd be like falling asleep on the couch or at a dining table and stuff like that. So yeah. But trust me, once you get the CPAP machine, and I guess once your insurance, all that stuff comes through on that, I mean, they'll tell you it's going to take a little while. But all I did was I was proactive and I called them and told them, hey, man, I want this thing now. Who do I need to speak to? They transfer them to some other place. And I just called them and I got it in like 2 or 3 days, I like to say. Because sometimes it can take a couple of weeks to get this thing, right? But if people know you really want something, they'll try to assist you. That's what I ran into personally. Okay, here's something. Talkspace from the positive. Talkspace is okay as a therapist. As a therapist, I recommend Psychology Today. You type in your area and the local therapist pops up. Okay, it's good to know. Thanks for sharing that. What are some other simple tips, right? Some other things I didn't even get into because there were so many things you could do. Didn't want to overwhelm people. Cinnamon is another good thing, right? You can add that to coffee, your oatmeal or something. You know, it's not as sweet as sugar, but it helps. It helps with that blood sugar spiking stuff. But you have to specifically get Ceylon cinnamon. That's Ceylon. Let me put that in the chat. I hope I'm spelling cinnamon correctly, but for sure I'm spelling the Ceylon correctly. It also increases thermogenesis. That's, helping your body to fight fat, burn fat, you could say. So cinnamon can help. And then back to the whole sugar thing, right? A study in the British Medical Journal found that increased sugar intake showed a positive correlation with increasing body weight, while reducing sugar resulted in lower weight. Again, very common sense type stuff here, right? And I know it's difficult, very difficult. I have a very big sweet tooth, right? And reducing artificial sweetness. A study in the Journal of American Geriatric Society discovered that folks who drank diet soda daily witnessed their waistline triple in size over the course of 9 years. Wow. I remember some years ago I saw a study talking about diet sodas. For some reason, I like to say it increased the risk of stroke in women, not men, women, and they didn't know why at the time. But if you have to pick between regular soda and diet soda, go regular soda. The diet stuff is worse than the real bad stuff, than the regular bad stuff, which is it. Go drink your Coca-Cola or Pepsi instead of Diet Cola or Diet Pepsi. That stuff is crazy. And of course, don't turn to fat diets. Yeah, you may lose 10, 20 pounds in a month, but you're going to put it back on, right? You always see on Instagram all these other things, these before and after shots, but there's no after. 6 months later or a year later, because they're getting fat again, right? If you lose a pound or two a week, you're much more likely to keep that off, right? And in 6 months, right, that's a bunch of weight you've lost. If you think about it, you'll be noticeably different in 6 months, right? I mean, just a pound a week, that's 24 pounds. 2 pounds, that's 48 pounds. That's a wardrobe. There's a new wardrobe right there, right? Worst case at the end of the year, it's a new wardrobe. Let's see what else we got here going on. The EAP is required if you have insurance. Oh, companies have to provide it if you have insurance. That's good to know. If you don't have insurance, many therapists have a sliding scale. What do you mean by that? I assume you mean, well, actually, I'm not sure what you mean. Is it based on your income or something if you don't have insurance? I assume somehow it's more affordable. I don't know if you can elaborate on that, positive therapist. So I'm not sure if anybody else wants to call in tonight. So let me get that link going again. Let's see if I've missed anybody else's. If I've missed a comment anybody made, I apologize in advance. Here's one I didn't bring up. Skincare do's and don'ts. This is in relation to the sleeping issue. Staying up late used to do that. So skincare do's and don'ts. I know she lost over 50 pounds now. And yeah, the staying up late is just terrible. Again, there's so many studies on that, man. It is hard to lose weight if your sleep sucks. It is hard. There's so many studies that show this. If your sleep sucks, there's a good chance you're either going to get fat or it'll be hard for you to lose fat, or both. You'll get fatter and it's hard to lose fat. Let's see, do we have any other questions, comments, anything other things you guys want me to talk about, either tonight or at another show? Okay. So I think we had a pretty good show today, discussed lots of things. I learned some new things, which is what I love about these shows. Not only sharing knowledge, I am getting knowledge. So it's a win-win situation. So thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And, leave a comment. You can leave comments after this if you want. Oh, wait, somebody's joined the show. I spoke too soon. The lady with a name that's hard to pronounce. Okay. Leave a comment. You can leave comments after. Welcome, Uizemia Mana. Did I get that? No, I didn't get that right? How do you pronounce your name?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. You actually did not do too bad. It's
okay.
Yamana.
Okay. Yamana. Okay, thanks. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
First I want to say it's so good that I came across your channel.
Okay.
I was over on the lead attorney.
Oh yeah.
Your channel, and I was like, I have to press this because I've been having a hard time sleeping lately. I find myself up all night.
Yes.
I'm definitely looking forward to ordering some of the things that you dropped in the chat.
Yeah.
So one of my questions, so I was on a plant-based for 4 years.
Okay.
And then COVID happened, and then I just ate whatever, and then I put 40 pounds.
Yeah, the COVID-15 or COVID-40, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like always between like 115 and 125, and then boom, I spiked to all the way to 145.
Okay.
150.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm trying to go back on a plant-based, and it seems like it's harder, even though I did it for like 4 years straight.
Right. Yeah,
I guess my thoughts is what are your thoughts on a plant-based diet? And I'm one of those people who's like doesn't judge other people.
Right.
I know there are like vegan people out there who's like, oh, I hate all meat eaters.
Right.
No, that's not me at all. Like all my friends can eat meat around me.
Right.
I did it because I was never sick for those 4 years. Now
Yeah.
I got sick.
Okay.
I actually am deciding to go back.
Mm-hmm.
I got COVID.
Right.
And it was bad.
Okay.
To do something about this.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Glad you recovered. So one thing with the vegan, so the vegan diet can work, especially when you're going from something that was bad to vegan. So one thing you got to be careful of is that you're getting all your nutrients, right? Like sometimes people are vegan or vegetarian, they can be vitamin B12 deficient, or it can be copper toxic. And a lot of times people don't like taking their multivitamins. So you got to make sure that you're getting all your nutrients, because the human body is so complicated, right? If something is just out of whack, it may be hard for you to do what you did in the past, which was definitely be at a pretty healthy weight from what you said you used to be, right? So that could be something. Then I'm not sure, how active are you now, and how much, do you know how many calories you're eating per day roughly by any chance?
I was on the app Fitbit.
MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, I was on there and I was like logging in everything.
Okay, that's great. No, that's great. That's pretty
But I
good.
got paranoid. I got paranoid with the app, and I was frustrated that every morning I had to like, screenshot everything I was doing, and I was like, I'm not doing this no more.
Okay.
I'm just gonna estimate how much I'm eating.
Okay.
So I would, if I have to estimate, I'd probably eat like around 1,700 calories a day.
Okay, gotcha. And how active would you say that you are?
So I started to be active again about 3 months ago, and I go to gym Monday through Friday. I don't go to the gym on the weekends. I feel like
Okay. You're
like
pretty active. Yeah, so you're pretty
yeah,
active.
I'm pretty active, but it seems harder to lose weight, and I know I lost weight, but
Mm-hmm.
when I step on the scale, it
Mm-hmm.
says I gained 10 pounds, but I know in my jean size, I
Yeah.
did lose weight. It's just that, that whole
Oh,
weight thing.
oh,
It just
right.
doesn't feel right because I want to see that number be
Right,
down.
right. So the scale can be both a blessing and a curse. So, for example, if your clothing is looser and the scale went up and you're working out, then you most likely gained some muscle and you burnt fat. So, like when I transformed, I lost 40 pounds of fat and I gained 30 pounds. But the scale only moved 10 pounds, but I look drastically different, right? So, if your scale isn't moving, but your clothes are fitting better, and you can tell looking in the mirror, or people who know you say, "Oh, you look better, you're slimmer," or whatever, then the scale is just lying at that point, right? Because the scale can only tell you your weight, which is comprised of the fat and the muscle and your bones and whatever, right? So you could very well be actually have lost some fat, gain some muscle, and the scale not really move. That is definitely possible, right? Um, but the fact that you're eating a good amount and working out, the only thing I could, again, back to the nutrient stuff, because I know for sure, while vegan can be very good, people who go vegan have to be very careful to make sure that they get all their minerals, vitamins, etc. So I don't know, do you supplement with any extra nutrients, or is you only getting your nutrients strictly from food?
No. I take supplements.
Okay.
I did this in the past for so long, so I'm pretty familiar with it.
Okay,
Um,
good.
yes, I guess it's just like it's like almost a mind trick. You've done something for so long that when
Yeah,
you lose track of it, you're like, I already know. Like I don't
right.
know, it's like something that's subconscious within you when
Okay.
you fall off the wagon. It's almost like entitlement in your mindset that you
Yeah.
already know,
Yeah.
but it feels like I'm starting all over again, even though I've done it
Gotcha.
for 4 years. And it
Okay.
just doesn't feel fair, you know?
Yes, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, you follow for a while and yeah, you backslide, so to speak. So perhaps maybe you just haven't given yourself enough time, because you said you weigh like 140, 150. I mean, and you were at 125 before. So you're way better than the typical person, to be honest. I mean, most women would love to have your problems, let's say, right? So maybe you're being just a bit hard on yourself, and you'll probably get back to your 125 level relatively quickly. Because I don't know, how long have you been trying? Like, how long did it take you to put on the weight, and how long have you been trying to lose the weight? Let's say.
I think I put on like 40 pound over like the 2-year period when COVID um
Okay.
came. So I guess I put on like 20 pounds a year and then
Yeah.
20 and then I step on the scale. I was like, nah, we can't go on this. And
Right.
like so like the way I gain weight, it's
Hmm.
like distributed throughout my whole body. And
Okay.
it doesn't like look bad. And I don't mean to
Mhm.
say that in the like in an egoistic way,
Yeah.
but I know that even though people can still compliment you or you
Hmm.
still, look great in clothes,
Right.
you know that following that pattern, because if the numbers keep going up, then it will get to a point where you're like, "Oh, no, now I really need to work out."
Yes, and then it's going to be much more harder. So you're doing the
Right,
right thing by trying to nip it in the bud now.
exactly, and my fear is, like, gaining so much weight to a point where I lose weight and then I have, like, excess skin. That's, like, what really is, like, getting me to go in the gym because
Okay,
I
yeah.
wanna lose the weight before my skin is so saggy after I
Mhm.
lose, like, so much weight. So
Gotcha.
and
Well,
I
you're nowhere big enough to have that problem. You're nowhere big enough. Yeah, you'd have to be significantly heavier than you are now to have the excess skin problem. So, I mean, don't use that as an excuse to get bigger, but I'm just saying you don't have to worry about when you shrink, you're going to have excess skin, because especially when you're doing it the right way, right? So, it took you 2 years to put on 40 pounds. You can lose that in a year or 2 years, but as you shrink 1 to 2 pounds a week, your skin will still has this less elasticity, right? It will tighten back up. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you lose this 40 pounds in 2 months, yeah, then you might have a little loose skin, because that's not normal. It didn't take you 2 months to gain 40 pounds. So if you lose it in you can't have your cake and eat it. I know what you're saying is unfair. I fully get you. So I know when I was losing, I was like, man, this is taking forever. I remember distinctly, lost a bunch of weight. people at the office are like, man, you look great. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm still fat. They're like, no, you're not. I'm like, yes, the machine said I'm fat. Trust me, I'm still fat. Yeah, I lost a lot. I moved from the obese category to the fat category. So yeah, but trust me, your problem is nowhere near as bad as most people. It's nowhere near as bad as the problem I had, for sure. You know, so.
And one more quick question. So
Yeah.
this is the first time I actually heard of it as of yesterday. I heard about the cabbage soup diet. It's this diet where you I guess just eat as much as cabbage soup as you want, and you lose like 10 pounds in a week.
Okay.
And actually I started that today, but from watching you,
yes,
now I'm not gonna do that.
yes, please don't.
I just want to say I'm glad I stumbled upon you, because I was like planning going day by day.
Yes,
But
these things are so key, you know, because what's going to happen is this. Basically, it's a starvation diet. So you will really lose weight, but a lot of that's going to be water weight. And it's not really, and eventually you're going to have to eat food again. You're going to stop eating the cabbage, and the 10 pounds you lost is just going to come back up, right? Except some of the worst thing that could happen is when some of the weight you lose is muscle. Then, so let's say you lost 10 pounds, right? Let's pretend 2 pounds is muscle. When you gain back the 10 pounds, it's all fat, right? So now your body's it's going to be harder. You know, this difficulty you're running into now to lose, the next time, if you lost muscle, it's going to be even more harder. Yeah, I know, it's a vicious cycle, right? It's a vicious cycle. Because when you lose muscle, your metabolism is going to slow down, and it's going to be harder for you to burn fat. Muscle is beautiful, right? It helps with so many things. It helps you with so many things, right? So cabbage diet is a starvation. All these things are gimmicks. So some of these things are so shameful. You'll see a YouTube channel, maybe you saw it on YouTube, where you'll see some lady with a before and after on a cabbage diet or something like that. She will show the before and after, and she looks fabulous. Then 3-6 months later, she's on to the next diet, and she shows the same before and after picture. And I'm like, what is this? She lost 30 pounds, then she put it on to lose it again, to put it on to. Some of these things are very gimmicky. You know, they're just using it to get views or to sell some product. You know, it's very shady, in my opinion, right? So I'm glad that you will not do the cabbage diet, right? These things, because especially you, trust me, you're in a position now where most ladies would love to have your quote unquote problems. So if you just keep what you're doing, right, the weight will come off. 1 pound or 2 a week, you'll be back to where you were 2 years ago in a year, right? As you said, you get compliments now, so it's not like, you know, you're not getting compliments. Each month that goes by, you'll just look better and better and better, right? And you'll be healthier and healthier and healthier as well. So yeah, I'm also glad you will not be doing the cabbage diet going forward.
Yeah. I saw, like you're saying, I saw the before and after, and I was like, yeah, that's it. That's what I need.
Yes.
Now I'm like, nope.
It's gimmicky. Did you see this on YouTube or Instagram, out of curiosity?
So I was looking for I wasn't even looking to lose weight. I was just like, I like lentil soup. When I was on a plant-based diet, I always had soup with my dish.
Okay.
Last week, all I had was lentil soup.
Right.
I put like spinach, kale in there to add all the stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I don't want to eat lentil soup every day. So I was like, let me do something that I could come up. And I came across of cabbage soup, and I was like, oh, I can lose 10 pounds too. Okay.
Right.
So that's how I stumbled upon it, but I wasn't really looking. But it's just like the thought of losing 10 pounds that quick was like, okay, I guess I'll do this soup.
Gotcha. So I just did. So again, let me show you guys what I do, right? This is an easy little trick to do for all these things. I'm going to share my screen again and show you something. So what I did, let me see when my screen pops up. Screen sharing. Okay. All I did is I typed cabbage diet bad, right? Because what I want to find out is, I could type good and find all sorts of success stories. But what I want to find out is there anything bad about it, right? So first thing, low carb and calorie may cause big changes in blood sugar levels. This is not good. That's the first thing is not good, right? It says not likely to have dangerous side effects for most healthy people as long as it's only used for 1 week as intended. Not suitable. So you do this thing for 1 week and you lose weight. Again, it's not probably going to be sustainable. I shouldn't say probably. It will not be sustainable, right? So this weight is going to pop back on. Now you run the risk of screwing around your blood sugar levels. Again, not worth it. Not worth it. Excess sodium intake. If you make the soup, blah, 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 you'll suffer from weakness, fatigue, and dizziness, meaning you won't be able to exercise properly for the week. So you see what just one Google search is already bringing all these bad things up, right? So this is the kind of stuff that I do when I hear new things, right? I just go do some research, right? But on the face of it, the general rule of thumb is if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. That's the general rule of thumb, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
I have one more question, and I'll be done.
You can ask as many as you want. I'm good.
Have you ever heard of moringa?
Yes, it's something a weight loss thing, right?
No, I take it because of all the fiber and iron in it, and I tend to get really, really sleepy, which is why I take it. I remember when I was taking it, I'll have a lot of energy. I was wondering if you ever heard of it.
I've heard it, but I'm Googling it right now. I'm ready for something.
I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Be right back.
Okay, daily doses, blah 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 blah.
This.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can see it. I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not fully familiar with moringa. I know I've heard the name before, but I'm not sure what. Let's do that quick Google search. Some kind of healthy thing. But so, what was the reason for you taking it? You said you're taking it for it's going to give you energy.
Yeah, I do have a lot of energy, even if
okay,
minimum sleep. But that's my goal is essentially to get the energy from actually sleeping.
Yes, that would be best. So that's a good point to jump on there. Since you put on the weight, has your sleep gotten worse or was it never good? Can you talk about sleep? Because before when you were 125, if you were sleeping bad, that's not good, but you were 125. Now, if you're trying to go down in weight and you're not sleeping good, now that's going to be very difficult. So what's your sleep like right now?
Oh, horrible.
Aha.
Okay. I used to get 12 hours of sleep.
Okay.
And now the most I get is probably 5. But I also have a daughter. So I gave birth.
Yeah. Okay.
That part.
Yeah. No. But congrats on that.
Yes. I don't have to mention it because I don't want to use it as an excuse to not get back in shape because everyone around me who have gained a lot of weight have been like, oh, I'm a mom now, so I don't have to take care of myself as much. Yeah, and I'm realizing that's never gonna get you far.
No, it's not. No.
So well, with that, with being a parent comes with a lot of no sleep. But a lot of it is my fault because I do have a set schedule for her to sleep. She's sleeping right now. I should be sleeping,
Okay.
But then I find myself having to put the laundry away.
Yeah.
The dishes, and I meal prep now, and that usually takes me a long time.
Yeah.
I just gotta balance it out.
Do you meal prep on the one day, like the weekends, or do you meal prep during the week? The reason I ask is when I started meal prepping, I used to try to do it regularly. Then I realized that didn't make sense. So I did it on the weekend. Then I was taking too long because I was making every little packet. So the fastest way I found to meal prep is to do it one day, but put it in big containers versus trying to pre-package everything. And then when I'm going to eat, I take food out of the container and plate it, basically. So how do you do it?
So I do my meal preps on Sundays, but then I run out of food by Thursday. I also make meat as well because my husband and my daughter can have that even if I don't eat it.
Right.
So that's why I'm not those peaky plant-based. I cook what I don't eat because I know everyone else in the house enjoy.
Right. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I find myself cooking twice a week when I really want to just do it once, like go back on a Sunday.
Yeah.
That's not working.
Right.
That's not working at all.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because, like you said, optimally, when your daughter's sleeping, that's when you would try to take like a nap. So here's one thing you could try: naps. Naps are incredibly powerful. I mean, even just 30 minutes, they're scientifically proven to help so much. So let's say you get your 5 hours of sleep and you found sometime in the day, evening, whatever, when your daughter's sleeping to take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. You know, that makes a difference. That really does make a difference. You know, it gives your body a chance to recuperate. Because I think probably for what you're saying, of all the things that have changed, for you to go back when you said it's more difficult, that's probably the biggest difference, the sleep. It's hard to change, to lose fat if you're not sleeping correctly. It's very hard because there's this hormone, leptin, when you get I wasn't aware of this consciously until I read this. Have you ever gotten bad sleep? Well, it sounds like you didn't know. And the next day, you have sugar cravings. I don't know if you've ever been consciously aware of this, but maybe going forward, you will be. It's this, sorry, it's not leptin, sorry, it's ghrelin, the hormone ghrelin, the hunger hormone. It goes crazy and it makes you want carbs, sugary things. So that can be another thing that's going on. Long story short, lack of sleep, very hard to lose weight. Very hard to lose weight. So trying to take naps could help you, you know, and the similar strategies I gave to that gentleman, the blue light blocking glasses, because say your daughter wakes you up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and now you're awake and you're finding it hard to go back to sleep, put on those glasses. Another tip, if you wake up in the middle of the night, eat a piece of protein. It's shown, I don't remember the scientific reason why this works, but it's shown to make you fall back asleep. This is the situation where not like you wake up to use the bathroom, but you're awake. Again, your daughter wakes you up, so you're fully awake, let's say. If you, I think the example I used was like a boiled egg. You could just find a piece of chicken. Oh, but you're vegan. But find something with protein.
I'm not like too intense on it. I just.
No, but there's ways to work around this. There's ways to work around it. You get some kind of protein, vegan protein food with some fat. Do you take fish oil or like what kind of fats do you take as a vegan for yourself?
I eat a lot of avocado. That's where I get most.
Okay, there you go. Perfect.
I mean, I eat like 2 avocados a day.
Yeah. So you wake up in the middle of the night, you're changing the diaper or what have you, and you're like awake. Go have an avocado or half an avocado or something because it's going to have some fat and some protein in it, right? And that will more help you fall back asleep. Again, I don't remember the science behind it, but it definitely works. I would wake up in the middle. This is before I figured out I had sleep apnea. And I would eat the boiled egg and I would just go back to sleep. So that's another thing. The blue light blocking glasses would help you. Getting like one of those night masks. And if you can, you know, get the blackout curtains. That's another thing. And again, you wake up in the middle, like emergency button. You know, just eat some protein with fat. For you, I would say the avocado. And that can help you as well.
How much protein, and I know it's different for men and women.
Mm-hmm.
How much protein should I be? I feel like I'm not eating enough protein either.
You probably are not. Most people are not.
Yeah. I take like the chick powder, the plant-based chick powder.
Mm-hmm.
I take 2 scoops of that in a day and a night.
Mm-hmm.
And each scoop is like 18 protein, and I have 18 protein in the night.
Yeah.
And the rest is probably from the soup I
would double that.
Okay, double. Okay.
Double that. Yeah, to get to 36 per serving size, let's say. Because typically, a general rule of thumb, you'd want to be shooting for like a gram per pound of body weight. Now, you don't want to get there overnight. So back to tracking. This is why the tracking is important. So when you start putting this stuff in MyFitnessPal, again, or whatever software you use, right? Then let's say, can you weigh, say 150 now? Let's pretend you're eating 100 grams. Don't just immediately go from the 100 to the 150, right? Increase it slowly. So perhaps with your protein shake, you want to maybe just double one of them or increase it by 50% and then just slowly increase it, so to speak. Because it sounds like you already have enough calories and you're pretty active working out, right? So
I just started that again. The working out, it just started 3 months ago.
Yeah, because you don't have enough energy from the lack of sleep. So that's going to impact things, right? For sure. So this is normal. So don't, this is very normal. So you're doing pretty good, actually, all things considered, right? So if you got naps to get more sleep and you increase your protein, so protein will help you with energy. So it's like a win-win. Help keep you satiated, give you energy, help with the muscle building and the fat burning. It's going to help with everything you're trying to accomplish. Trust me on this. You'll feel it. When you eat more protein, you feel more energy. You feel better. It's something you'll just feel, guaranteed. Guaranteed. You'll feel it. You'll feel that. Because even now, you see all this artificial light that you have, that I have now, all that's doing is keeping us alert, right? That's why hospitals have these bright lights, right? Or where Sly was working in the kitchen, super duper bright lights, right? I mean, they don't need that much light to see, to cook or anything. Your kitchen is not that bright, right? But it helps keep people awake. I mean, all these corporations have studied this stuff. This is not an accident. It's all purposeful.
Okay. Well, thank you for all my answers.
Yeah, thanks for the questions. It was
I just
good.
want to say I'm kind of weird. So
Okay.
my protein, I just put in the water, and then I have my delicious fruit smoothie.
Yeah.
With my soy milk.
Okay.
And I didn't mean to actually say dusty milk. I meant to say non-dairy milk.
Okay. That's funny. Yeah, because I'm thinking I never heard that phrase before, but I can imagine dusty. Yeah, that's funny. That's a good one. Yeah. So that's not weird mixing with water. I mix with water. I mean, the fittest people I know or I see, their protein shake is just with water. They're not trying to add extra calories. They just want the protein. Like my protein it's either I take one whey that has like no carbs, like 2 grams of fat or something, and then the other one has a couple grams of sugar. But yeah, a really good protein is just powder, is just protein. You don't want a ton of other crap, right? So be careful with the smoothies. When you say you put your milk and some fruit, just make sure you're not getting a ton of sugar in there. You know what I mean? Just read the label to see how much you're getting. And again, track it. Just put it in MyFitnessPal. I know you got tired of the tracking, but I'm not sure what time you got on the show, but I was talking about if you're trying to drive from point A to point B, you have no speedometer, no GPS, no gas gauge. It's unlikely you're going to get there because you don't know where you're going. You can't measure. So like if you lost weight next week, you don't know how you lost weight. You don't know what you ate. If you gain weight, you don't know how much you just don't know. Now you're guessing, right? Whereas if you have a number, you have something. The same way you go on the scale and it gives you a number and you can track, right? You want that number with the food to say, hey, I ate too much, or I didn't eat enough, right? So you want some idea, right, to go off of, basically. So increase the protein, start tracking, the blue light blocking glasses, some kind of a night mask, I would say. I don't know if your husband will like the night mask, but I guess
I do that. It's just my phone in my hands. I know that. I know the issue. Yeah. I have my phone, and yeah.
The phone within 30 minutes of bed, it's shown to lower sleep quality. What you can do, I don't know if you have the night mode turned on where it tries to block the blue light. Do you have that turned on, night shift on the iPhone?
I do.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And when you use the glasses, you'll find it's going to be hard to stay up on the phone. It's going to be difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally order as soon as you
brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is actually the 10th time I hear it because I work. I'm always like, oh, I can't sleep. And I'm like, order this.
Yes.
I'm like, now I really have to order it.
Yes. Yeah. I would say order those. They're legitimate and they're not expensive. It was like $15 for it. Yeah. And you have some that are prettier, nicer. I think one brand was called Gunnar. So they're more stylish. You could wear out because they look like real glasses and they're slightly tinted. So they, you could literally wear them out anywhere. Nobody's going to look weird at you. Whereas these are more, goggle-ish type, so to speak, right?
Yeah, I order actually two for myself and for my husband.
Good.
One more question.
Yep, sure.
Huh?
No, I said, yep, sure.
Yeah, we both don't get terrible sleep, just terrible. We're just on our phone all the time.
Okay.
One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
juicer. So I've been making like detox juicer, and you just
Okay.
mentioned sugar.
Yes.
I normally use like beets and like carrots, but I put apple in all my juicer cleanser because it
Yeah.
just makes it sweeter.
Yes. Apples are good.
Are I guess are there any limit to how much fruity I can put in my juicer?
Not really. I mean, the ones you just mentioned are like terribly sugary. But one suggestion I can say is try to eat some of those fruits. Like one of the tips I gave, again, I'm not sure what time you came on, was like eating an apple before a meal. Right? This is a similar strategy of eating your veggies first. It helps fill you up. If you ate the apple, like look at it this way: you can drink several apples, but you can't eat several apples, right? So again, if you mix it up with your one apple, that's great. Also, just try eating the apple. I assume you like the taste of the apple. Just try eating it sometime, or half an apple, or a couple slices. Then make your smoothie, because again, it's gonna fill you up, right?
Well, I'm doing the detox drink because I want I want my skin to glow, especially in the summertime.
Okay.
Am I misinformed on what actually makes your skin glow, or should I focus on eating the fruits as a whole rather than like, oh, drinking this is what it's really gonna enhance my
Yeah.
glow?
Most detox things are similar to most of these diets are just nonsense, right? I'd have to research the specific one, but one thing that's great for detoxing, helping your skin, is going to a sauna. Does your gym have a sauna by any chance?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually was in the sauna when you went alive, and I was like, I'll just
Okay.
join when I'm done.
Yeah, the sauna is great. It's like getting a facial for your body, right?
Okay.
Saunas are incredible for your skin. They're super good for your skin.
Yeah, I go to the YMCA, and it pretty much just have everything. I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
daycare,
Sauna is
so
great.
everything I need is
Yeah.
right there. So it's great.
Yeah, so again, with the detox thing, similar to the cabbage diet, right? You saw what they did. I had cabbage diet bad. Whatever this detox is you're trying, just do some research on it. Most of them are nonsense, just off the rip. Most of them are just nonsense, right? They're gimmicky. Oh, detox, and as a side benefit, oh, lose weight and this and that, blah, 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 blah. But the sauna has been scientifically proven. There's so many studies all over the world showing how great it is for detoxing, right? Because the number one way you excrete toxins is through your sweat, and you sweat a ton in the sauna, right? Which So keep doing the sauna. Do the sauna a couple times a week.
Okay.
And it's great to do after post workout because your body's already heated up from your workout, so it's natural. You can stay in there longer. It's more comfortable versus you just going in there cold. So that's another tip I could tell you. Like, do it post workout.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Great points. No, thanks for the questions. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. I'm really glad I stumbled upon your channel. Like seriously,
Okay.
It's
Thanks.
like like how you can like look up information, and yes, you know it, but when you hear it from someone, you understand it. That makes any sense.
No, it does. Because it was my first coach, a lady who helped transform this bikini model. Then I got this guy, then another guy. And yeah, I read a ton, but it was so much easier when somebody could just explain it to me and just tell me this has got to right to the issue, the point. Kirk, do this specific thing. Like she just gave me some specific tips, and it was instant improvement. So I know exactly what you mean.
Right, like Googling information is like a black and white thing versus when you talk to someone, is like there's gray areas, there's exceptions to this, and you're able to hear from someone's like tone of voice, and it just makes more sense. You're able to comprehend it better.
I agree. It's
that too.
Yeah. And be careful with a lot of the fitness people on YouTube, Instagram. A lot of them are just promoting nonsense because somehow they're going to make money off the nonsense, whether it's with the views or they're selling products. So, I mean, even if things you hear me say, don't just assume I'm right. I could make a mistake, right? But, there are a lot of people out there with shady motivations on the internet, right? So they say do 1, 2, 3, do your research and say, does this make any sense? Or is this nonsense? Don't just blindly follow anything. That's probably one of the best pieces of advice I can give to you, right? And yeah, please come back on the show. Yeah, I'm gonna try to Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays for live streams. So yeah, and tell your friends about it, or get your husband to come on too.
Yes, he probably won't be able to because his work schedule. But we are looking for like something consistent for us to have like a lot of energy.
Yeah,
I think this would be a great start for sure.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, but again, thanks for calling in. It's a great way.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah. Oh, and I think somebody asked about how much protein. Oh, did I tell you? Yeah, roughly shoot for a gram per pound of body weight, because I saw a question here in the comments. So
yeah,
thanks.
I'm actually thinking about adding like not protein, peanut butter. Like maybe have a couple of scoops.
Yeah.
I feel like I can only have so much the protein shake.
Yeah.
I don't think I can handle 2 scoops.
Yeah. Don't. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. And don't have back-to-back shakes. Like don't. Okay. That's usually bad on the stomach. You'll be gassy. Back shakes. I find don't do that. So yeah, if you find taking extra scoops, so the peanut butter, again, check the nutrient labels, because peanut butter doesn't have a ton of protein. As a matter of fact, let's look that up in MyFitnessPal. All right, really quickly. I'd like to say I don't think it does. And this is all you got to do. No need to guess. You just look it up. Peanut butter. HEB peanut butter. 2 tablespoons is 7 grams. Okay, so that's better than I thought. Oh, but it has 16 grams of fat. So this is where it's important to track, right? So if you are getting a lot of fat, you'd have to adjust for all the peanut butter you're now going to add. So it sounds like you like peanut butter, so that's fine. You could have your peanut butter, right? But because you'll be tracking, you will see how much fat you get. And a general rule of thumb is 20% of your total calories for the day should be fat, or no less than that. So try to keep it around that number, 20, 25% general. So quick recap, shooting for 1 gram of protein for 1 pound of body weight. General rule of thumb, 20 to 25% of your total calories for fat, and then the carbs can fill in the difference. You go to the gym, you work out, you need energy. Don't try to not eat a bunch of carbs, right? The worst thing you can do is starve yourself. That's a mistake a lot of people do. They just start cutting calories thinking that's the way to go. That's not the way to go. So if anything, you might even need to increase your calories, because you're working out 5 times a week from what you're saying. So you might even need to increase. Like if you're hungry, eat food. Do not try to not eat food. That's the other piece of advice I would say to you, because you're active, right? You're an active woman.
I know it's strange, but I find myself eating less after I work out. I just don't feel hungry. Yeah.
Well, this may be tied again to the lack of sleep, right? Because that's a red flag. If you think about it, if you don't work out and you eat, and then so let's pretend you have a clone sister, a twin. She doesn't work out and she eats. You work out, you should eat more than her. So the fact that you're not eating as much of her, meaning it's not a good thing to not have the appetite, is what I'm trying to say. But that could be traced back to the sleep, because the sleep messes up so many things. And it's normal for newlywed mothers to have erratic sleep. So that's not abnormal. So it comes back to those the naps, and then what little sleep you're getting now, try to get higher quality sleep, again, with the things you said you ordered already. So I think all of these things will help, So, but that's a red flag. It could also be potentially overtraining, or ironically not eating enough. So I've had this before with clients where I said 1,200 calories to 1,400, and I increased their calories, and they're struggling to eat. And they did this for a couple of weeks. Then suddenly their appetite is opened up, and they're ravenous now, and they're devouring food, and they're still losing weight. So you want to pay attention to your appetite in a sense, because either it's the sleep messing it up, or maybe you could be working out too much, especially with a lack of sleep. You're like burning the candle at both ends. You're working out hard, which is good, but you're not getting enough sleep to recover, which is not so good. So, yeah. Okay. But pay attention to all these signals your body's giving you. I would say that. So, and come back on the show. Let me know how it's going. I'd like to know.
Yeah, I'll definitely be tuning in.
Yeah. Pleasure meeting you. So have a wonderful night. Thank you. All right. Bye. All right, that was a pretty good chat. Pretty good chat. Let's see. So I think I answered the question about the protein, right? Igwe's daughter had the question. How do you know how much protein your body needs? Yeah, general rule of thumb, like I said, 1 gram per pound of body weight. And don't try to get there overnight, right? And track. Don't just start eating a pound overnight. Just track it first and then see how things are going. See how things are going. So I think twice now I've been about to close a show, and then lots of good things happened after that. So yeah, pretty good show. Pretty good show. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in. It was a lot of fun. As usual, I learned new things, which again is an unexpected side benefit of this show. Every single show I've done, I've learned several new things. So thanks for sharing information with me as well. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. So may I go along now late as my massive. For those of you who don't speak Jamaican patois, that's goodbye, my people. Peace. Have a good night.